Oh, hello, can we please talk about UFC Vegas 61? Mackenzie Dern taking on Xianyun Yang. It was a decent night of fight, so I'm going to recap all of those, all of my picks from last week and have a look at what's next for the winners and losers, who did well, who didn't do well, what stood out on the card. Going to be looking at some MMA news. The main thing that I'm breaking down this week is a fantasy matchup between Conor McGregor and Michael Bisping, because those two have been going at it online, and I just think it would be interesting to break down their teletape. I'm also going to be taking a little look at what's been going on in the news. It's not been much, Bo Nickel mostly. But yeah, if that all sounds good, then stay with me for the next 10 minutes or so for the Burt Locker episode 136. Right, so UFC Vegas 61. Gutted that Tabitha Ricci and Penne fight was scrapped. Hopefully they can rebook that one. Big fan of Tabitha Ricci. I think that's a decent matchup for her as well. But they're both BJJ black belts, so I was quite intrigued to see how that was going to play out on the ground. But hopefully they can rebook that. Latifi versus Oleinik. I was very surprised by this one, to be fair. Latifi basically did what people have been failing to do for years against Gillian. He managed to do safe grappling. He wrestled the fuck out of him and got the decision, but he just kept his head and his limbs in the right place, and just, doing that against a guy who has 47 submissions is not fucking easy. Tip my hat to you, Latifi, sorry. It may not have been the most spectacular fight in the world, but in terms of doing things that are difficult, it's pretty difficult to grapple Alexei Oleinik for 3 rounds and not get submitted. That takes some fucking doing. Randy Brown versus Francisco Trinaldo. Now, Trinaldo had the right idea early in that one. The inside leg kicks were very good. But Brown, again, he just looked too slick on the feet. His footwork was too good. He was fighting long very well, throwing some nice head kicks like we've got up here. Yeah, he was too elusive. Brown's very impressive. Like, he was throwing, there was a spinning back kick that he threw that had no wind up on it whatsoever. And it was just so quick and well executed. He is one, honestly, keep an eye on Randy Brown. I think he starts putting a few more bits together and you're going to see somebody really, really dangerous there. Shout out to Yusuf for a lovely jumping guillotine, Sadiq Yusuf. And Dern versus Yan. Look, Yan just did a great job defensively on the ground. Standing, she was just a step ahead, and we knew that she would be. I had no issue with the decision. It was close, yes. The problem with Dern is that if she doesn't get the submission, she spends a lot of time in seemingly bad positions from an aesthetic standpoint, so I can see why the judges gave it to Yan. But that was UFC Vegas 61 in a nutshell. And so we'll go for a call to action. Don't know why I said that out loud. So basically, if you watch the show, thank you for supporting. If you could also hit like and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. I also do exclusive Patreon fight picks over on Patreon, so you get extra fight picks over there. The Patreon's £1 a month. It's an absolute bargain. Really great way to support the show. And yeah, just so like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments who you thought stood out on UFC Vegas 61. All that good stuff. The comments will help. Call me a knobhead for all I care. Just help my fucking algorithm. Anyway, first thing in the news. First thing I want to address actually is something that's got me a little hot. a little hot. I've noticed this thing a lot. I mean, because obviously I do stand-up comedy at a very grassroots level. I've had a couple of paid spots here and there, but it's mostly open mic. I'm trying to work my way up. It's a grind. It's a process. So I'm in all these forums and everything where a lot of twats are there with their fucking opinions. And there's one guy posted fucking, would you support, look, if you were asked to, would you do support for Louis CK? And it's like, look, I'm not being funny, but anybody at our level, if you're saying anything except yes, and I would gladly do it, I'd be very glad of the exposure, no pun intended. Look, if you're saying anything other than that, you're a disingenuous cunt. Honestly, that is it. I've seen the amount of people that I've seen saying, no, I would never say. It's like, yeah, you fucking would. He's one of the biggest comics on the fucking planet. He's probably the best comic on the planet right now. Yes, you fucking support him, you fucking idiots. Do you know, you wouldn't be given the opportunity. And my favourite was one of these guys just like, yeah, well, I would just say that as long as I was allowed to make jokes at his expense, and then I'd just really lay into him. It's like, oh, okay then, fella. Yeah, so you're gonna fucking roast the best comedian on the planet right now, as you open for him, on a show that 10,000 people have paid to see Louis C.K. on. And then he's going to come on after you, best comic on the planet. How do you think that goes for you, Mr. fucking local regional comedy guy? Like, how do you think that goes for you, honestly? You think that goes well? I don't. Come on, man. Not everything is a fucking hill to die on, people. Jesus Christ. Anyway, sorry, I just thought I'd mention that. Not MMA related, so yeah. People have probably switched off already. Anyway, so main thing I've been looking at, Bo Nickel. Keep an eye on this guy. He was on Dana White's Contender Series. He was really good. So yeah, he was on season 6. He's fought twice so far. First round submission in each. My main thing with Bo Nickel is his transitions on the ground are so freakishly fast. I mean, he's a 3 times NCAA champion. He was MVP in the NCAA competitions in 2018. When I say this man is a freak wrestler, he is a freak wrestler. And you know what? I would love to see it like Joe. I think they need to slow roll him a little bit because we need to see where he is in terms of competition. But god damn, I like his style. I like his attitude. I like how he's putting his character out there. And you know, he basically grabs people, takes them to the floor, and just the ground transitions. Just if you go back and watch those Contender Series fights, you'll see what I mean. So freakishly quick, and that's how he's going to get those submissions. I mean, like, you know. That speed was really, really impressive. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he progresses. And the next thing I'm looking at, basically, you know, Conor and Bisping have been going back and forth because basically Conor, I don't know, Bisping didn't even say anything horrible about Conor, but like Conor left him like this creepy ass voicemail. Well, it wasn't a voicemail, it was like a voice message on Twitter, just like, you know, basically saying that he's gonna fucking, gonna like to come for him, and I don't know, it's some weird shit. Like, I think Conor had a few fucking drinks, but anyway, I thought it'd be fun, like I did with Nate Diaz versus The Rock, to do a little breakdown of Conor McGregor versus Michael Bisping. So let's take a look at the tail of the tape. So we've got Bisping is the slightly bigger guy, you know, so he's going to be taller. He's got the reach. Yeah, because what's Bisping? He's 6'2", and Conor McGregor's 5'9". And weight-wise, you're looking at, you know, obviously Bisping, he's going to be the heavier guy because, yes, Conor McGregor walks around heavier, but so does Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping always had to cut for middleweight, and the cut got easier as he got his weight under control. But right now, he's walking around like 220, easy. Like, Michael Bisping's a big boy these days. He's been hitting them weights hard. But so has McGregor. McGregor's been on all kinds of fucking special sauce or something, because you look at the state of him these days. It's fucking ridiculous. So, yeah, look, end of the day, Bisping's going to be the bigger guy. He's going to have the height and the weight. Only a 1.5 inch reach, but 1.5 inches could make all the difference. That's what she said. Anyway, Conor McGregor's 34. Michael Bisping's obviously the older fighter. He's been retired for a while. So Conor is probably realistically closer to being match fit, as it were. Now, this is where it really gets interesting because in terms of like titanium body parts, you've got Conor McGregor with 1 times titanium shin, and I believe Michael Bisping now has 2 titanium knees. So that is advantage Bisping. I mean, 2 is better than 1, isn't it? That's just math. And also, you know, Bisping, he's got some pretty vicious knees as well. He's got very good knees. But you know what? The titanium shin could be a problem because, as we know, Bisping does not see very well out of his right side, and the leg that Conor McGregor snapped, that he's got the titanium shin bone in, is actually the left leg. So that's going to be hitting the right side. So Bisping might not even see that kick coming, and a titanium shin to the noggin. Woo! Yeah, that's going to be a problem, isn't it? It's going to be a problem. But yeah, I still think that is an advantage to Bisping. Speaking of eyes, so you've got, in terms of eyes, Conor has twice as many working eyes as Michael Bisping. But, I mean, maybe Bisping could put some sort of laser in there or something. There are options for Bisping in that regard. And Conor's 2 working eyes will most likely be, you know, bloodshot and compromised from all the whiskey and coke. So I still think that might be advantage Bisping there, because I think his one eye might be a little bit clearer, and also the possibilities for his artificial eye, like putting lasers in there, like Kano in Mortal Kombat, that kind of thing. The possibilities really are endless. And so for me, it comes down to the striking. I don't think that Conor's going to start turning into a double leg wrestler, and obviously, I think that, age will be a slight factor, but he's a natural middleweight. Conor's bulking up to get there. I think that it would be a 5-rounder. Obviously, it's going to be a main event, so it's going to be a 5-rounder. I think that Mike Bisping would probably just use his height and his slight reach advantage, and he was always very good at getting in and out, and he's very fast. His striking's very, very fast. I don't think he never had that huge knockout power, but I would note that since, when Conor McGregor moved up the weight classes, his power kind of started to dissipate as well, didn't it? I mean, you stopped seeing a lot of those knockouts, like Nate Diaz, apart from, Cowboy, but that was like two lightweights fighting at welterweight. It was complicated. I don't think that Conor's power translates as much the further up he goes. And this one, obviously, Michael Bisping's a big dude. I think that the gas tank will definitely be in favour of Bisping, because Bisping's gas tank was always one of his main weapons. So for me, this one goes, 3 rounds of back and forth striking, but by round 3, Conor's mouth is open, he's gassed, he ends up getting pushed up against the fence where Bisping goes in for the kill, lands some vicious combos, a couple of lovely titanium knees, and gets the TKO finish in round number 3. Who do you think wins that fight? Just let me know in the comments. I want to know. I want to know how you think that one would go. I think that would be a bad stylistic matchup for Conor, honestly. But that the left hand is always there. But I think, like I said, the further up the weight classes he goes, the less of a difference maker that power is. So then we move on to Troll of the Week. I've only got one this week, but it was a pretty funny one, and it does involve Conor McGregor, and it's just got a fucking brilliant picture of him. It's just like McGregor, too drunk to realise that deleting drunk messages doesn't work. And I suppose that works for tweets and stuff as well, because he does seem to do that a lot. He seems to do that a lot. But anyway, that's all I've got time for this week. At the weekend, we do have some more fights on. I'm trying to say, I know that, it's Grasso versus Araujo, and I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not hugely familiar with either of those. I remember Grasso, that Mexican guy. But anyway, you've got Alonzo Menefield against Misha Kirkunov in the co-main event. That's relatively interesting. You've got Rafael Sanso on there as well. So there are a couple of fights that are piquing my interest. So I'll be looking into those on Friday. Until then, keep those odds long and those bets terrible.